Hey, Redeeming Life Church, Pastor Bryan here, and I'm looking at the text we're going to be examining on Sunday. This is Leviticus 17:10 through the end of chapter 20, which is Leviticus 20:27. We're just continuing in our series, and if you're reading ahead, you hit this place and you go, this is a lot of you shall do this, you shall not do this. God was instructing the people of Israel in some things that he was commanding, and in verse 19, I guess it's the end of 2. It says, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. And in verse 19 of the same chapter, he says, you shall keep my statutes. And in verse 22, he says, you shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my rules and do them, that the land where I am bringing you to live may not vomit you out. And you shall not walk in the customs of the nation that I am driving out before you, for they did all these things, and therefore I detest them. And he goes on to say how we should obey the Lord and be holy. But we don't like being told what to do we? See, we want to call all the shots in our own life, and unfortunately we live under an illusion that we do. That we have all this ability to dictate how we live. But truthfully, when you really peel back the layers, we don't, do we? We have all kinds of laws that dictate how we drive, when we drive, where we drive, how we pay our taxes, how we do just about everything. In fact, there's probably a law or some sort of governing guidance about everything that we do. And I have a friend, he says, well, I don't want an employer telling me what to do, so I'm going to go into business for myself. And yet I see this friend, he says, I don't want to work for the man, but now he works for the business. And he's got to watch the finances, and he's got to watch how the customers come in and where the money's going. And he doesn't get to call the shots of his business. The business is being run based on maybe some structures that he was fortunate to set up, but he doesn't get to call the shots. And then even think about this. There's a whole lot of social norms. There are things you can and can't do that are not dictated by law, but they are just sort of socially unacceptable. And if you do them, you're a pariah, you're an outcast. I mean, there's some really simple ones. Things you talk about at cocktail parties and don't talk about. Things that are appropriate at work and not appropriate. Things that are, you don't do things in your neighborhood that would sort of set you aside from the social norms. In fact, there's even things when you're sending text messages. What happens if you send a text or a social status update in all caps? Right? There's just certain rules, certain norms of society that we have to live in. We don't get to call all the shots in our life. And so when we see God giving the Israelites some commands, we go, well, that just seems awful. And then sometimes we say, oh, well, it's a good thing I have Jesus and I don't have to live under these rules anymore. Now I have complete freedom. But it's not freedom to call all your own shots, because in John 10:27 he says, my sheep hear my voice and they know me and they obey and they follow me. And then in Matthew 7:24 he says, look, a person who hears my word and does it is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. See, when we follow Jesus, we are letting Jesus call all of the shots. And so what we find here, even in Leviticus, is that God prescribes how we are to live. And here's my challenge to you. There's all kinds of prescriptions on how you should live, all kinds of social norms. You don't get to call the shots, so really you're letting someone call the shots in your life, or something, or some fear, or some social norm. Why not let Jesus call all the shots in your life? Because as we read this book, we find that is where life is found. When we turn to all those other places where all those other entities and people and ideas and social norms are calling the shots, we don't have life. We remain in death. So I just want to encourage you, let's let Jesus call the shots. We're going to be talking about this on Sunday. Also, I want to let you know that at 6:30 this Sunday night, we're going to have a worship night. Come and pray with us and come sing praises to God. We're going to be praying and talking and worshiping the Lord. We'd love to see you join us. We'll see you Sunday.